It's Monday, Big Sil's National Football Show, and we are now weeks away from the start of NFL training camps. And just like an apocalypse now with Robert Duvall, can you smell it? Smell that napalm. Smells like victory. I could smell football in the air. Smells like victory. God, man, I love football. Hey, sports is great too, by the way. Excuse me, but as me being Nostradamus here, did Big Sills not tell you Tampa Bay Lightning going to the Stanley Cup Finals will take on the Avalanche? By the way, Bolts in 6. How you doing? 3 straight in a row. Oh, maron to me. Last team to do something like that were the New York Islanders of the 80s. Iconic run. Your Phillies got blasted yesterday, but playing better. I know 2 minutes of conversation here with Big Sills on that, okay? I get it. I get it. This is all about football. I'll tell you this, too. I'm starting to love this dude, A.J. Brown, man. He's a little bit of a shit talker. Eagles need to have some of that in their locker room, man. Hey, you got a lot of people already giving you the all-season crown and telling everybody that this is going to be one of the teams maybe to beat in the NFC this year. And I happen to think that as well. All right. And by the way, real quick, the guy that works at Papa John's, third fastest 110 high hurdles in history. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm watching the championships over the weekend. And what's the kid's name? The guy from Papa John's, Devin Allen. Holy shit, man. Third fastest time in high hurdle history. That's pretty good. I don't know if that translates into being a football player. He did play some ball at Oregon. I don't know what that means. And it's not like he's been off for 6 years because he couldn't play ball. He was off for 6 years because he was trying to do all the Olympics. It's all good. Especially with COVID going on, he wanted to try to reach an Olympic dream. That's something that he's skilled at. I don't have a problem. COVID probably hurt his plan. He was probably going to try to make the NFL a couple of years earlier because of COVID and the postponing of the Olympics. I probably put a wrench in that plan. That's why it's been a little too long here. 6 years, we'll see. He is a wide receiver. We're not talking about a quarterback here. So, hey, man, I'm pulling for the kid. It shows you this. Third fastest time. That's impressive. The kid's got wheels. You know who else was a high hurdler and a great athlete? Rod Woodson. RG3 also, man. Dude, I know, 0.4 off the world record. That's insanity. And the Eagles have him. How about this, man? What if this guy turns out to be like Wes Welker and Howie gets another feather in his cap? Yeah, I found the kid. Yeah, I found him on the track and field tracks around the country. But my, intuition was, let me give this guy an opportunity. Whatever, dude. Okay. But let's hope this guy pans out, man. I'd really love to see him on the Eagles. Can you imagine? That guy ends up knocking Jalen Reagor off the squad because he comes in and has a great training camp. I don't know how he's going to have a great training camp, though. They seemingly don't practice all that much. All right. I've been hitting on a topic. By the way, please hit the like button. Gary Cobb in hour number 2. We got a big week already lined up for you guys. Today, in hour number 2, Gary Cobb, where he always sits at 4:30 Eastern. Tomorrow, Hollis Thomas will be on with us, Eagle legend, at 3:30. And then on Wednesday, Ice Cube's going to join us. He's going to join us at 3:30 Eastern time on Wednesday. Then Chris Sims on Thursday. So we got a pretty big week lined up here. Can't wait to talk to Ice Cube. That'll be on Wednesday at 3:30. So we got a boatload of people jumping aboard with us. I see all you guys up here, man. Thank you so much for coming aboard. We got a big week, man. An absolute big week. All right. Let me throw this at you here. Okay? I'm gonna make a prediction. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong here. I don't think the Eagles are going to get off to a good start this year. I think they're going to get off to one of those 2-5 starts. They're blowing off mandatory minicamp this week? Really? They're blowing off mandatory minicamp, cutting their camps short, and getting ready for the July training camp, which they're probably going to cut short there too. I'm just going to make a prediction. I don't think they're going to get off to a great start. How can you be prepared for an upcoming season when you don't practice? You don't have quality reps. They're not going to have any quality reps, and I don't care what controlled scrimmages they're going to do in July with other NFL teams. That's not quality reps. Quality reps are preseason games. And with all the new players, and also with you trying to develop your new quarterback, I don't know how you look at it where you think practicing less and hoping that we're healthier going into the regular season is more important than actually being prepared. I know it's a double-edged sword. So let me ask you this. Would you rather be prepared going into a season, or would you rather practice less and not be prepared so you can go in healthier? You tell me. And I'll tell you what, if you think I'm hating on it, out of the gate on a Monday, I'll listen to you right now. Do you think right now it's better to go into a season healthy, okay, healthy, by limited practices versus being prepared in practice? You tell me what you think is the best avenue, and take anything in your life that you just do without practicing that you have a passion for. Okay? You tell me. Jeremiah says, I really don't care, honestly. Okay, so if they get out to another 2-5 start, you'll know why. That's my prediction. Second-year coach, third-year quarterback, second-year starting quarterback, actually. Chris, right? You know, Nakobe Dean and also Jordan Davis. These guys aren't going to get a lot of practice time. I'm just saying this. They're not going to get out to a strong start. You're not even going to be practicing game tempo. This is, in my opinion, a remedy for a slow start to the season. And don't be shocked if the Lions jump up and play you a close one. You're not beating the Vikings. You may end up losing, actually, to the Washington Commanders. By the time you're going to be in shape will be that Jaguar game against your boy, man. I mean, Doug Peterson's team, they're going to be practicing. They're going to be getting ready. They got a lot of young players on that team. Okay? I find it weird that this week would have been mandatory minicamp for the Eagles, and they blew it off, said, nah, that's all right. We don't need it. Well, these guys have already crowned themselves Super Bowl champions. I'm just saying, that's not, in my opinion, a way to get out of the gate and think that you're going to be prepared to go out and play in an NFL season. I get the war of attrition. I understand that, and I understand that as well as anybody. And by the way, I'm not talking about going out and banging heads for 3 freaking hours. I'm talking about quality reps. I'm talking about putting Jalen in some exhibition games, maybe a series and a half. Maybe you play him a quarter just to get game tempo. No, that's not what they're doing. Okay, you know what? They say this to you. And when I had D Gunn on with me last Friday, he's got a great point. Here's the great point. Watch this. Well, it worked last year. Okay, well, that wasn't your philosophy when you went into the 2017 season, was resting guys and pulling guys out of practice. That's not what your philosophy was when you were winning. That's not what it is. So to me, okay, because they were healthy a year ago, they're looking at it now, hey, preservation is the most important thing. And you know what? There's a part of me that understands that. You're right. Protecting your roster as long as you can is vital if you're going to try to win an NFC East. How many teams in the NFL? And you know what? To Howie's side of it, if you want to look at it on both sides here, to Howie's side, how many teams really do in the NFC have great rosters right now? 1 or 2 or 3 catastrophic injuries could end a team season. If Dak Prescott goes down in Dallas, that Dallas Cowboys season's over. If Aaron Rodgers goes down in Green Bay, that season's over. It is absolutely over, right? Hell, if Matthew Stafford goes down, that season is over in Los Angeles. I mean, hey, Chris goes, how did it work at 2-5? They stopped throwing the ball and they started running it, and they went to their strengths and made themselves one-dimensional. And the play calling changed. That's when the offensive coordinator took over from Nick Sirianni on the play calling, was when they got out to that 2-5 start. Dude, 2-5, they were healthy last year. They made a great run. They'll probably make another great run. They've got another back-end, really weak schedule again. I mean, look at who they finished with. Last 5 games, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants. I mean, you're going to be in a position to catch up and get back into a race if you get out of it early in the middle of that schedule. The middle of the schedule is really where they've got to be concerned about having depth. When you take on Washington, the Colts, the Packers, the Titans, and then you come out of that with a Giants game, a conference game, and a divisional game, that stretch right there will be your season, along with the first 3 games of the year. I think the first 3 games and that stretch in the middle of the season, coming out of the bye, is going to be really big and essential for the success of the Eagles this season. All right, guys, hit the like button. I'm just making that proclamation here. I think that they're going to have some issues getting out of the gate here with the way that they're approaching, how they're preparing. Their preparation, I'm not a fan of. I'm just not a fan of how they prepare for a season. They don't practice very hard. They almost like go through the motions. You know, it's almost like grab-assing. Okay? It's not quality. It's not quality reps. I may be totally wrong. They may go 17-0. They may win a Super Bowl. I'll be completely wrong. Okay? I just, and again, like some of you guys would say, Sills, this is the new NFL today, man. You got to save your roster. I get it, and you may be exactly right. You may be exactly right on that. Susan says, I want Eagles at least beat the Titans, Colts, or Packers, one of those games. I think they can win every single one of those games. I think the Titans are going to roll back, depending on what Derrick Henry's doing. Derrick Henry, first 9 games, Derrick Henry, that's going to be a problem. It'll clearly test the Eagles' run defense. That team will test the run defense for sure. Tannehill's not a bad quarterback either. If you play that zone coverage, he'll even kill you. The Packer game's going to be very interesting. The Packers actually are getting better on defense. And this notion, because they lost Devonta Adams, that they have no wideouts, I keep telling people this stat all the time. And I keep telling them about the mentality of the Packers all the time. Dude, they've had 2 wide receivers that they've drafted in the first round since 1988. 2. Okay? 2 wide receivers. Think about that. The rest of these guys have all been later round draft choices. Even Devonta Adams wasn't a first round draft choice. It's not as essential as you think. 60% of the Pro Bowlers over the last decade are non-first round draft choices. The Packers develop wideouts. They've had 2 legendary quarterbacks do that. They're going to be in a good position to win ball games this year. And like I said, they're getting better on the defensive side of the football. Nathan says, not practicing and actually drafting Nakobe. Eagles do it differently. Okay, Nathan, let's find out. Nathan, you truly believe canceling mandatory minicamp and then turning around and doing this for the upcoming training camp, I guarantee you they break camp earlier than any other team in the league because they've got this notion. They believe that if they don't practice a lot, they're going to save their guys for the season. And it doesn't really matter if they get out to that slow start because they think they got one of the weaker schedules, and they do, that they're going to be able to catch this thing in the back end of the schedule. Okay, that's kind of a flawed philosophy, but I'd like to see the Eagles get out to a strong start. Hey, when's the last time Philadelphia got out to a strong start? Was it 17? That's the last time they got out to a strong start. Is that correct? Where they got out to a really great start and they were really dominating football teams. When you have veteran guys littered all over the lineup, and that's what's different from that team to this team. All right. Let me roll into this topic here. I want to do something here because, we talk so much Jalen Hurts. Let's take Jalen Hurts out of this conversation, okay? And put him over here to the side. No conversations on Jalen Hurts, okay? What is the least, or who is the least, how can I phrase this right? Who is the most important Philadelphia Eagle that this team cannot lose this season? The one player that they cannot lose to ensure a successful season. We'll throw it out that way. Who is the one guy that you look at? I got a guy written down here, and I want to see if you guys are on the same page with me here with this. The one Philadelphia Eagle that this team cannot win without. Who is that guy? Smile says Slay. Chris says AJ. Susan says Mailata or Dickerson. AJ Brown. Goedert. We're going to talk about him. I want to write something down about Dallas Goedert too. I saw something in the Philadelphia Inquirer today, and I happen to agree with it. Okay, I'm going to put that out there. Kelsey. Got to be someone in the O-line, says James. Slay says Eric. Adam says Slay. Pretty good, man. The guy I'm thinking about right now, and you guys are throwing Slay. Meta, they won 9 ball games last year without AJ. Slay or Bradbury, Gaming says. Kelsey. All right, let me throw you my guy. I do like Slay. I think Darius Slay would be a massive loss to that football team. But I do think the secondary is going to have a better season this year because of the improvement in the front seven. Okay. I say the one player that this team cannot win without is Jordan Mailata. I think having a solidified left offensive tackle like him on that football team, in my opinion, there's very few teams that have a Pro Bowl type left offensive tackle. That guy's going to anchor that position, barring any catastrophic injuries, for the next 15 years. He's going to be at that position. And when you're trying to develop a quarterback, you want to have your blind side protected, and you want to make sure that that blind side is protected. I know he's different, and he runs around a lot. So I get that. But Mailata's so athletic, he understands that. That line is in sync with how Jalen Hurts plays ball. This year is going to be different than last year, though. The reason that I'm picking Mailata, why do you think I'm picking Mailata? Because they're changing the passing system in Philadelphia this year. You don't go out and spend $100 million on a wide receiver to have him blocking your run game. That's part of his assignment. But the last 2 years, look at the investment that the Eagles have made. They've drafted a guy in the first round in Devonta Smith, and they just gave $100 million to a 25-year-old superstar in A.J. Brown. Okay? And so it's important. They're changing the way that they're going to throw the football this year. And teams are going to defend Jalen differently. That left tackle has to be a cornerstone in this approach. Here's why. What's the one thing that Jalen did exceptionally well last year? Run. He ran around, and he was able to move the chains. You're not going to be afforded that. What is the one thing you think? Here, defensive coordinators, guys, they don't fear Jalen the passer. They fear Jalen the runner because his running sets up open lanes for him. If he can't move around, Jalen Hurts is an ineffective passer. His passing skills right now are not NFL quality. But his overall package is. Jalen is an overachiever. Okay? He's an overachiever. Works hard. All those things we talk about ad nauseum. But he's not a skilled passer. So what are D coordinators? And I thought about this over the weekend. If you're a D coordinator, how are you stopping Jalen Hurts this year? Okay. I'm setting the edges. I'm not letting him get out in the perimeter. I'm going to make him roll right instead of rolling left. He loves to roll left. I'm going to make him – they're going to do things to him that Monty Kiffin used to do to, say, Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner used to love to get to a spot and throw the football in rhythm. Peyton Manning used to do that. Great defensive coaches take that asset away that those quarterbacks love to do each and every single time they drop back. That's what makes Brady so great in his pre-snap. Brady, when he goes back, he already has an 85% understanding of where he's going with the ball. It's almost like doing card tricks with Brady. Aaron Rodgers can drop back and go like this and throw it anywhere because he throws on the run, and he sometimes doesn't even really know where he's throwing the ball. He has an understanding because he plays the position and he's a savant at it, but he doesn't have the pre-snap reads and he doesn't do the pre-snap things that Brady does. Brady has to do it. You know, it's funny. Jalen Hurts relies so much on his athleticism. Brady can't. That's what's made Brady a better quarterback. Brady is a better quarterback because he can't run fast. Brady's a better quarterback because he can't scramble. Brady's a better quarterback because he rarely slides. Brady's a better quarterback. The only time you see him running is on 4th and 1. All of those things have made him have to read progressions, had him study with pre-snap. Jalen never had to do that because if it wasn't open, he'd take off. Brady can't do that. That's what has made those guys like Joe Burrow's not taking off. And people in Los Angeles don't want Justin Herbert taking off. Okay? So Jordan Mailata and that O-line is going to be so important this year for the blocking of Jalen Hurts and his development. If Jordan Mailata goes down and you lose that left tackle, now look, they have depth. But when you lose a quality player like that, in my opinion, boy, I'll tell you, devastating, especially in a quarterback who's trying to figure it out. Okay? I mean, it's impossible to be able. I don't know how Joe Burrow did it last year with the 31st worst offensive line in the NFL. I have no idea. Okay? I can't wait to see Carson Strong in preseason. Okay? I can. Keep Hurts in the pocket. Make him beat you with his arm. Chris, it's so simple, isn't it? And he can't. But now with the new additions, that's why the pressure's on him. You see what Tyreek Hill said over the weekend, wide receiver now with the Dolphins, former Chief, said that Tua's accuracy is incredible, and this guy here is a great looking talent, da-da-da-da. He's put a ton of pressure on Tagovailoa this year. Tagovailoa's got to throw for 4,500 yards. You got Waddle on the other side too. You got a decent tight end. You got a pretty good running game. I'm telling you, man, Tua's got to put up big numbers. Or the Dolphins, who also have multiple picks in 2023, will be in the market for a quarterback, and they'll trade that guy. Okay? They'll trade him. Mailata is someone that you want in a fist fight. Absolutely. I want that whole offensive line in a fist fight. 60 sacks for Burrow, and they still won the AFC and went to the Super Bowl, and we're 1 quarter away, Nathan, on winning the whole damn thing. Joe Burrow, in his last 3 years, think about that. His last 3 years, he's won a national title, a Heisman Trophy, and he won an AFC championship, and he was a quarter away from winning the Super Bowl with a shitty O-line. You talk about incredible. That's how you win ball games. And he did it with, like we said last week, the Bengals. This guy changed the culture around in Cincinnati. I'll tell you this. I'd rather be right now in the AFC, I'd rather be the Bengals than the Steelers. I'd rather be the Bengals than the Browns. I'd rather be the Bengals than the Patriots. I'd rather be the Bengals than the Dolphins. They got their guy. Okay? They got their guy. There's more upside in Cincinnati since Joe Burrow landed there than there is in New England, with the greatest coach in league history. Think of that. The Bengals. Okay? Drew says, our O-line is damn good. We have great depth, too. If Jalen figures it out, plays from the pocket, and reads defenses, our offense will be lethal. What up, Young? How you doing, brother? Appreciate you coming in, man. Hill is a knucklehead, putting unnecessary pressure on his quarterback, says Michael. You know, Michael, I was just talking to Xander about that. Don't you see when people say dumb shit sometimes and you go, why? Okay. Our gravy. I like that. Let me write that down. Tua or Jalen. I'll write that down and we'll hit on that. Thank you very much. You know, I was just talking to, and not to go off subject here. You don't need to throw that out there for the media so that you can have a quote or something. At least it's football. Like this stuff going on with Jack Del Rio with the Commanders. Not to get off topic, like I said, but why? You even if you feel that way, even if you feel the guy's right, you're a defensive coordinator of the Commanders. Why are you talking about January 6th and putting heat on your team? What's the point? Well, it shows he has a right. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. You know what he does have a right? He's got a right to say it, but you don't have a right to bring unwanted pressure into my locker room for dumb shit. That's the stuff I'm talking about with Hill even. Don't bring stuff into the locker room that we don't need. Jack Del Rio bringing up January 6th is stupid. Even if you think he's right. Why would I want that unwanted conversation in my locker room? Media asks questions, says nuts. Don't answer it. I'd rather not answer it. I'll answer football questions. What do you make of Tua versus Patrick Mahomes? So he actually made a comment to Tyreek Hill over the weekend that Tua is more accurate to Patrick Mahomes. I tweeted out, so you're really saying that you would rather have Tua Tagovailoa as your quarterback than Patrick Mahomes? Sour grapes, guy. He talks about, you notice how Tyreek Hill every day has a comment about the Chiefs? He misses his home. The bag of money, all of a sudden, that grass is greener on the other side. It's kind of worn off a little bit. And he misses his buddies. He misses Kelsey. He misses Mahomes. He misses Andy Reid. You don't think there's a difference in approach between how they're going to get Tyreek Hill open in Miami versus how they're going to get Tyreek Hill open when he was in Kansas City with Andy Reid? Right? I mean, why bring that shit into the locker room? There's no reason for it. Now, look, the stuff that A.J. Brown's doing, needling the Cowboys and the Giant guys, I love it. Keeping it on the field, you're having fun with players at a charity event. That's good shit. Del Rio, parachutes in January 6th. You're like, well, what about Chase Young? Well, how's Chase Young look in minicamp? This guy's talking about it getting fined. You don't have that right to do that to my locker room. Someone goes, Sills, has a right. Everybody has a right to say whatever. Not in my locker room, you don't. Not when there's other people involved. You don't have a right. Why do you want to bring shit into my room? Stuff you don't have to. That's one thing that the Eagles have done a great job. Would we not agree that the noise factor, there's none of that Wentz shit? The only thing we talk about with Wentz, when they play him twice this year, Eagle fans are looking forward to seeing Doug Peterson. Looking forward to seeing how they match up against the Cowboys. That's all great conversation, and that's why spirits are high with the Eagles. Washington's dealing with a dumb owner and a dumb DC. Thank God Ron Rivera's there. The Giants, I don't know. New management. They're under new management. We'll see what happens. The Cowboys, they make noise. Oh, Zeke is going to be a monster. He hasn't been a monster in 4 years. And there's the Eagles having cookouts, everyone having fun, everyone bringing good mojo to the team. There's a great juju in the room with it. Dude, that's exactly what we're talking about here. That's good shit, man. Okay, look, all I'm saying is I'm a little critical of the start this year. And also, hey, way to go, man. These guys have kept the noise out of the building, and we're still talking about expectations. I love it, man. I do. Nuts says, you really think the media would have dropped it? Hey, Nuts, you know what you got to do? You got to put your foot down and be a man. And don't be A-Rod. You know the problem with A-Fraud? He tries to appease everybody, and he makes himself miserable. That was A-Fraud. You're never going to make anybody happy. So if you tell someone, get the hell away from me, and they want to call me surly, I'd rather have you call me surly than get a dumbass quote about January 6th in a moment that it doesn't fit. Jack Del Rio put a story in the Commander's locker room that doesn't fit. The Eagles have none of that. If I were the Eagles, I'd pray that Jack Del Rio continues to talk. That's bullshit, man. No reason to bring – you don't have a right in an NFL locker room to bring that in there. Dude, if you keep people like Michael Sams and Tim Tebow and players and guys like that with all those issues out, I don't know why you don't kick Jack Del Rio's ass out. I would too. Get out of here. We got enough shit with the owner. GT, what up, brother? Dude, A-Fraud is an absolute – I mean, that dude you see on TV now, he ain't him. Some publicist got to him. Hey, you know, you've got to be more self-deprecating and more stuff like that if you're going to really – he's on TV, and here's a steroid monster guy, and here's everybody, one of the most hated guys in baseball history. Now he's on the tube. You got to love it, man. A-Fraud. Hey, it's not that he wasn't one of the great baseball players, because he really was. 3,000 hits, almost 700 home runs. Come on, man, right? But as a human being, I mean, there's a reason why you hated A-Fraud and you love Jeter. And I'm not even the biggest Derek Jeter fan, and I'm a Yankee fan. The captain. Yeah, okay, great. Super. Derek Jeter, great. Captain. Yeah, all right. He's got to be one of the – he's a lot like, to me, DiMaggio. Nobody ever got really close to DiMaggio, and no one ever got really close to Jeter. So, anyway, got another topic for you. Two of the rookies. I want to hit on Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. We're going to do that. Don't forget, my friends, Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. That means this. If you're hurt or injured on the job, picking that attorney is going to be one of the most important things that you can possibly do. And that attorney is going to get your family the compensation that you so nearly and deserve. Only place that you want to do that with is Morgan & Morgan. For the people, it is not a slogan. This is who they are. And for the last 30 years, like I said, they have collected over $13.5 billion in compensation for their clients. 800 attorneys strong at the biggest law firm in the country is Morgan & Morgan. Offices in Philly, New York, in Florida are ready to do battle for you. Listen, there's no such thing as a fender bender when we're talking about Morgan & Morgan. Not those folks. I've known John for 25 years. Call him at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation's free. 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
7 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
At Action News, we cherish every moment, and it's our profound responsibility to bring you closer to your world. Never miss a moment. Trust the people at Action News.
All right, did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Your boy Big Skills. Please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard with us here. You guys want to hear a rumor? You want to hear a rumor? Okay. This is a story that's kind of flying under the radar here. The owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, Josh Harris, might be in line to buy the Los Angeles Chargers. Here's what's happening. Dean Spanos' sister is suing Dean and his family, okay, for control of the team. The team is under a Spanos Foundation, and it is in this pool that the entire family lives off of that the old man had set up before he passed away a couple of years ago. And in that process, Dean was given control of the Los Angeles Chargers. The sister is demanding that the team be sold. And the first person's name that came up is Josh Harris. Josh Harris would make a bid for $5 billion for the Chargers if this ends up happening. I don't know what that would mean for his stake with the Sixers. I don't know what that would mean also with his ownership of the Devils. But the Spanos family could be forced to sell this. And from what I'm understanding, the NFL owners really like Josh Harris, and he's got the pockets. I guess, a big Wall Street guy, a hedge fund dude. And he's got the resources. He's kind of like David Tepper a little bit down in Carolina. He's got the money, and he also has the connections to put a deal together that the NFL likes. One of the richer guys on the planet. And I'm hearing, okay, I was one of the guys that said that they were going to end up moving to Los Angeles, and I was dead on. I never thought they were staying in San Diego. I never thought the Chargers were going to stay there. You know, they were negotiating with the mayor. It was a nightmare. It went on for 2 years, and I'm like, why would I keep my business in San Diego when I can move my business to Los Angeles and double the value of my team? Why would I stay here? Especially when I don't have to pay any rent to Stan Kroenke. You know, he pays $1 a year to Stan Kroenke, the Spanos family does, to play in that stadium. They pay $1 a year. That's a true story. They don't pay any money in rent to play in Los Angeles, not like the Jets do. The Jets and the Giants are business partners at MetLife. They're not business partners. Kroenke gets the majority of the concessions and parking or any other event that goes on at that SoFi Stadium. So, I mean, dude, I'm just saying that you could be you could be looking at the owner of the Sixers owning the Los Angeles Chargers by the end of the year. So let's keep an eye on that. But I think this is gathering steam that Dean's going to have to sell the team. They're not a very wealthy family. When they bought the team from Gene Klein, you want to hear something incredible? I'll move off it in a minute here. And it's incredible that Josh Harris, the Sixer owner, could put up $5 billion. Do you know how much money they paid Gene Klein to get the rights of the Chargers? They paid $54 million to own the Chargers from Gene Klein. That was the owner that they bought it from. They could be selling that team for $5 billion. Think about where sports franchises are today with gambling, with all types of other resources now that you can use for streaming and everything else. In-game betting now is going to be a major factor for the NFL. Okay? Big money. Dude, Joseph, I don't think Snoop has the money that Josh Harris has. Okay? It'd be pretty cool, though, if they could get a minority ownership to own the Chargers in Los Angeles. That'd be something. It wouldn't shock me if the Washington Commanders and the Chargers get put up for sale. Ownership issues in Washington and now family issues in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Kevin, $5 billion. That's right. Get Randall, $54 million they bought the Chargers. $54 million when they bought it early 80s from Gene Klein. Today, they could sell the team for $5 billion. Incredible. Hey, you know what's crazy? Everything else has inflation except sports, weed, and porn. Remember that. Booze. They're recession-proof. You want to always make money today? Sports, porn, and booze. You'll never, ever have a bad quarter. And waste management. You got to throw your trash away. One of the greatest stocks of all time is waste management. When I was in the brokerage field, I used to sell that all the time to people. You've got to throw the trash away. It's recession-proof. Waste management's the best stock, best performing stock in the world. People got to throw trash away. Landfills are being sought after all the time. Okay? You never go wrong with waste. You want to put your money in a safe stock? Waste management. Just got to throw your trash away. Dr. Dre's worth some big – dude, $1 billion? That ain't going to cut it, homie. That's not going to cut it. Guy like Dr. Dre, he ain't got the money. Tiger ain't got the money. You got to have enormous pockets. Okay, so let's move off that deal here. Let me ask you a question here with what's going on here with all the conversation that we're having about practice, this and that. Okay. What rookie do you think has the biggest impact during their career between Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis. I'm basically asking, who do you think ends up having the better Eagle career? I thought about this. Who's got the most talent? Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis has off-the-charts talent. Jordan Davis. Here, I'll do it this way. Pluses and negatives. Jordan Davis, size, strength, speed, everything you hope for in a professional athlete. That guy right there is it. He's one of the biggest interior defensive tackles. He's not quite built like Adama Sue, because Sue is a little bit more muscle-bound than for me, and a little bit more muscular than what Jordan is. But this guy's gargantuan. He is a football athlete. He's not a weight room guy, which I'm hoping that he turns into. But he's a guy that, in my opinion, okay, has all the ability in the world of being a superstar football player. Okay, my question will be, how much does he love the game? How much does the game matter to him? You know? This has got to be your number one end-all. When you're a guy like Jordan Davis, 13th pick in the draft. You didn't really live up. Now, again, to be fair to the scheme that they ran at Georgia, they may have been asking him completely different things to do because they had multiple pass rushers on that football team. Wyatt and Walker both get after it very well, okay, and did a lot of great things. And Kirby Smart put people in different systems and different schemes in that side, inside of that defense. So it's not fair to me to go like this. Well, he wasn't really productive in that Georgia scheme because they may have been asking him to do exactly what he was asked. Okay, but there were times when we all witnessed it and saw him not being as productive because he wasn't in shape. That's a problem for me there. That's one of the negatives. You look at Nakobe Dean. I think Dean was the leader of that defense. I think Dean was the leader of that team. I don't think Nakobe Dean was just the play caller for the defense. I think he was the leader of that national championship football team. And he's got a Seth Joyner leadership quality about him. It just seems to me that anybody that you speak to or have a conversation to about Nakobe Dean, this is what they say. I talked to some people that were at Florida, and I talked to Dan Mullen over the weekend, and then I was talking to some of the other SEC coaches, and I had a conversation with Lane Kiffin over the weekend. And I go, who do you think has – and this is where we got the topic from. Who do you think has the better career? Do you want to hear 90% of them said that they think Nakobe Dean's going to have a better career than Jordan Davis? And they're all like this. Jordan Davis, not to say anything that he won't have a long NFL career. They just really love this kid because he was always the guy that they had the game plan against, because if that guy was out there, the defense ran on all cylinders. Anytime Nakobe Dean wasn't out there, it was a little helter-skelter and a little bit off kilt anytime Nakobe Dean wasn't out there on the field. So I think Dean's going to have, to me personally, I think Dean's impact on this Eagle team, I think he's going to play in Philly the next 10 years. If you continue, there's one thing's for sure, the triangle, which is the two defensive tackles and him playing behind him, you have 600 and 700 pounds worth of defensive tackle in front of you, and you're able to run down the line of scrimmage the way you were. Why do you think Seth Joyner had the type of career that he had in Philly? When you have Jerome Brown, Keith Wilkes, you have guys like that in front, and then you slide Reggie in there too next to Jerome, and you got two defensive tackles like that, Seth Joyner's going to have a field day making plays, sacks, interceptions, pressures on quarterbacks. You got a productive defense. Now, again, this is all going to come down also to the coordinator. Dean, absolutely the leader of this defense, no doubt. Dean will be a beast, but I think big contract, he's out. Why? Because of the way that they handle the linebacking position in Philadelphia. That'd be a shame. Dean will be like Kelsey of our defense. I like that comparison. Man, I couldn't believe how many great things Lane Kiffin said about Nakobe Dean. By the way, nobody said anything negative about Jordan. I just threw it out there. You know, it's like asking, do you like chocolate or vanilla ice cream? You know, it's not a shade on Jordan because these other coaches. They were just raving over Nakobe. Anthony says, I'm going to say this right now on your show. Keon Johnson, the linebacker we drafted after Dean, is that the kid that was at Kansas? Is that the Kansas kid? Okay. You seem like a Neapolitan guy. I don't know what that means. Okay. Let me see here. Is that kid, Keaton Johnson? That's kid's drafted by the Eagles out of Kansas. Everyone is sleeping on him because he reminds you of Hassan Reddick. He's built like Reddick. 6'1", 6 foot, 235. That's Reddick size. Kansas, yes, okay. Hey, Sileo, who are the NFL comps and Dean and Jordan Davis? If I were going to compare Nakobe Dean, I said this a couple weeks ago. I said this. You seem like a Neapolitan. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry in one. No. How dare you? The Neapolitan ice cream sucks. Those are people who can't make their mind up. Are you crazy, Xander? If somebody ever saw Neapolitan ice cream in my freezer, you know Big Sills don't live there. He don't live here. Sileo is one brand, bro. Strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate. And I don't like chocolate. Indecisive bitch. That's what he called that's going to be from now on. I'm going to go like this to you now. From now on, anytime I meet someone new, are you a Neapolitan ice cream guy? And if that guy says yes, I'm going, nah. This guy better have money in his pocket to give me. Neapolitan. You know why you hate the Neapolitan? Because when you got the strawberry and then you dig into it, you go over the line and you go over to the strawberry. And then you put it in your deal, whatever you're doing, shakes or what have you. You got a mixture. How do you know I want that? I don't want that shit in there. I'm a guy that puts stuff on my dinner plate like this. Peas, corn, meat. You'll never see this. Cauliflower, carrots, salad, right? And like 2 pieces of small fish. Be like, that ain't, no. Do I look like that kind of plate? Cauliflower. No. Peas, come on. No, peas. Cauliflower. No cauliflower. I want meat. Carrots. I want meat. Ain't no vegetarian. Big Sills, no vegetarian. Cauliflower, peas, some celery. Celery's the worst. I don't know how people eat celery, dude. And I hate celery when you put it like in a tuna sandwich. It's disgusting. And then they put like nuts in there. Don't do that to me, man. I don't want nuts, or I don't want any like celery in my tuna fish. Get that out of there. The hell is that? Some communist tuna fish sandwich. Who the hell eats that shit? No. Cauliflower. Who eats cauliflower? Matt Nagy. He probably eats it. Cauliflower. Every time I see cauliflower, it reminds me of like a horse's brain that you have in my freezer. Salty caramel. You know, man, that ain't working in my refrigerator. Potatoes is meat, Joseph? Is that what he's saying? Jalen, cauliflower with a little pepper on it. Better watch it. L.A. Dan. Oh, my God. L.A. Dan. Yeah, right. Hey, dude, I did do that once, man. I was up there, and you should see some of these places that people, they get their plates, and they got like 4 beans on it and cauliflower and their little lettuce and shit. And I'm like, I'm not eating there. I want to get a decent salad, dog. Give me an antipasta salad. They bring me 4 things and a pepper. I'm like, what is this? And it's $400. Guy, I'm not kidding. I was in LA once. Guy gave me a salad. It had 1 pepper, one pepperoni, and it had some cheese on it. I got my bill. It was like $300. I went, what is that? Dude, are you kidding? Okay, that usually is the shit that falls off my antipasta salad. Hollywood Dan. Cauliflower. Yeah, no, man. I like sandwiches. You bet, man. They're Geno's things, okay? Cheesesteak sandwiches. All over them. All over them. Cauliflower ears. Yeah, all right. So I'm with you, man. I think Nakobe Dean's going to have a great – it wouldn't shock me if he makes the all-rookie team. I don't think Jordan's going to be in that conversation. Okay? I don't. Because the way they're going to use him. But he could be impactful this year. He could be impactful, man. Okay? He could be. Xander says that Jordan Davis is going to be the best lineman in his class. Okay, so which one of the $13 million guys are you sitting? Who are you sitting? Which $13 million guy are you sitting, Xander? They both make $13 million. One makes 14, the other makes 12. Makes 12.7. Who are you sitting? You got time with Davis. Now, if you're saying eventually he'll be the best guy in his class, it ain't going to be the first year. You got $30 million wrapped up in 2 defensive tackles. You, in theory, have more money wrapped up in 2 defensive tackles than you do in your 2 offensive tackles. And those guys are bona fide Pro Bowlers. Those guys are bona fide. Okay? You got more money wrapped up in your DTs. Xander goes, what about Hargrave potentially being traded? How old is he? Because here's the no. Hargrave, Fletcher's gone, dude. Fletcher's gone. This is, no matter what Fletcher does, he's gone. 1 year, $14 million, he's out. He's good. Here's what's going to happen to Fletcher. He's going to turn into Ndamukong Suh. He's going to go from the Lions to like the Dolphins to like the Rams to like the Bucks, and he's going to make a king's ransom. Fletcher Cox is going to make a lot of money doing that, and he's going to put himself in position to win a couple more rings. Fletcher's going to be in a fine position. He ain't just going to be doing it in Philly. Fletcher's going to be Ndamukong Suh. Suh's about ready to retire, and this is what Fletcher's going to do. He's going to make the rounds. Who wouldn't want to have that? You come to me and go like this. Hey, Sills, how would you? I'm the personnel director of a team. Sills, Fletcher Cox is out there. What did he play last year? Hey, he had 6 sacks, had about 45 tackles, and the defense was in the top 10. They're getting rid of him because they're not bringing him back. It's $14 million. Okay, see if he'll take 8. If he takes 8, I'm signing him. I'll put that guy on my team. And Fletcher's going to go around for the next 5 years making $45 million. And he's going to, like I said, have a shot to win a championship. It's just not going to be in Philly. Now, could he take less money And could he do a structured deal where he wants to retire an Eagle? I don't know if that's the kind of guy he is. He showed me something by doing this. He was a free agent for a couple hours. Somebody out there would have given him more money, I think. I think somebody would have gave him more money. Maybe he does do the Eagle discount. I don't know, you know. Maybe he goes like this. Hey, I'll tell you what. Hargrave is 29, Xander says. Last year, a deal. Are they going to re-up him? That's a great question. We got so much to go into hour two. I'm going to put that down on paper, too. I want to talk Dallas Goedert, Tua, and Jalen, and Javon Hargrave. He's going into his – really, Xander, I didn't know that. So he's going into the last year of his contract, and so is Miles Sanders. Interesting. And both your defensive tackles are theoretically on one-year deals now. Hargrave's deal's up, and Cox, his deal's up at the end of the year. Then you got Jordan Davis. You got Milton Williams in the room. Pretty good stuff here, man. Shows you how deep the Eagles are, too. That's a good thing. All right. Hit the like button. Hour two, don't forget, Gary Cobb. We'll bring all this up with Gary Cobb, too. Fox 29, Philadelphia's very own Gary Cobb. We'll do that at 4:30 Eastern with him as well. Keep it right here. Hour two coming up on the National Football Show.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Hour two, National Football Show with your boy Big Sills. Appreciate you coming aboard. Please hit the like button. Gary Cobb, bottom of the hour from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. We'll bring up a lot of these great topics we brought up in the first hour. By the way, our week is already set up. Hollis Thomas will be with us tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern time. And then on Wednesday, Ice Cube joins us 3:30. Wednesday Eastern time, and Chris Sims will join us at 4:30 on Thursday. So we got you locked and loaded here for the next couple days. We appreciate everybody coming aboard. Thanks for stepping in with us. A.J. Brown, man. He feels it, doesn't he? Gets on Twitter, starts barking with some of the Titan fans. And I agree with him, by the way. So he's going back and forth with a Titan fan. And, he goes, why are you commenting on anything Titans? You're now the enemy. And he's like, hey, I'm paraphrasing here. Don't get pissed at me. Your company and your organization didn't want to keep me. That ain't on me. That's on them. He's right. Why do people hate always the player? And they just don't really look at the game here. Okay, so you got that dude Burks, and this is why they're pissed. But I will say this. So A.J. Brown was barking back saying that, hey, man, why are you mad at me? I'm the greatest wide receiver in your franchise's history. That's not necessarily the truth. Now, if he's talking Tennessee Titans, remember the Titans are also the Oilers. Ernest Givens, Derek Mason, he's not in their conversation with the amount of statistics that they put up with that organization. Now, if you're saying this, he's the most skilled wide receiver that team has ever had, I could buy that argument. Would I rather have A.J. Brown or Ernest Givens? I would take A.J. Brown. Would I rather have A.J. Brown or Derek Mason? I'd rather have A.J. Brown. I think that's kind of where he's coming from. He's the most skilled wideout that team has ever had. And I would agree with that. Okay, but less than 3,000 receiving yards, you're not going to get a fair conversation going because people are not going to look at it like that, how I just explained it. They're going to go by pure numbers and go, well, Ernest and Derek and Ken Burrow and all them other guys had more numbers and bigger numbers because they played longer, obviously. But if you're going to talk about the most skilled player that they've ever had at that position, Oilers and Titans, A.J. Brown might definitely be that guy. I think he's definitely that guy. A.J. Brown is definitely right. They just didn't want to give him the money, Joseph. He wanted to stay. That's what I loved even more about A.J. He didn't want to leave, man. They were offering him $4 million less. They wanted to give him $16 million. And now they got this kid Burks who can't even get through a minicamp. Holy shit, you could talk about Jordan Davis and weight issues. This kid Burks can't even get through a 9-on-7 without getting on the inhaler. Bro, did this go on when you were at Arkansas? Or is this a lame-ass excuse? I think the guy's out of shape. You mean to tell me that's how he practiced when he was at Arkansas and you didn't know that? Something's up there with that thing. Yeah, Hayward Jeffrey's also a great player there too. QB has something to do with the stats, etc. Warren Moon. Oh, great take, Benson. Right, Warren Moon's in the room too. I mean, shit, right? Yeah. Hey, what's this? Hey, Benson, that's a great take. Okay, when AJ says he's got Ryan Tannehill throwing him the ball, and Ernest Givens and Mason have Warren Moon throwing him the ball. It's different. Okay, completely a great take. That's completely a great take, dude. Yeah. Harold Carmichael and T.O. The best receivers in Eagle history. That's a great one, too. That's a fun one. Who is the best wide receiver in Eagle history? Who's the best wide receiver in Eagle history? I love that. Here. I love that. I'll get to these other topics here. Tua and Jalen, Dallas Goedert. I'm going to get to that here in a minute. Oh, man, I loved Andre Rison, man. Andre Rison. Who is the greatest top Eagle wide receiver yards all time?
Harold Carmichael, according to Statista.
So Harold Carmichael, Pete Retzlaff, Deshaun Jackson, He could be my favorite. Mike Quick. You want to put tight ends in here? Zach Ertz. Tommy McDonald. Jeremy Maclin. The list gets a little bit shadier as we get down towards 10. Where is Chris Carter on that list? Chris Carter's not even in the top 20. That's crazy. Yeah, man, Chris Carter. Wow. Huh. Where is Carter in that? Anyway, who's the best wideout? T.O. Come on, man. T.O.'s not the best wideout. Maybe the best one season. Or maybe he is. I say it's Deshaun Jackson. I say Deshaun Jackson's your greatest. He's third all-time in yards. 17.2 yards per catch. I think that's the most. No, Tommy McDonald, 19.2. Tommy McDonald has the best yards per catch in Eagle history. I think it's between Deshaun Jackson, Carmichael, and Quick. And if you want to go, Tommy McDonald. Played the flanker position and did win a championship too. Urban Fire, great for a short period of time. Gizmo Williams. Jalen Reagor. Jackson. Dank, you know why I say him? Because he was also a punt returner. By the way, you guys want to put Devonta Smith on kickoff and punt return? Would you want to put him back there? Would you want to give him an opportunity to be more explosive? Can you imagine Devonta Smith in open space when you kicked him the ball? No. So you're just going to put another stiff back there again this year and have no field position on your kickoff and punt routine. Put that stiff Jalen Reagor back there. It was a nightmare. That's where I put, hey, why? Deshaun Jackson did it. He was a spectacular star at it. First guy to make the Pro Bowl, 2 positions, wideout and kickoff return guy. That's a weapon. Hey, Deshaun Jackson is more of a weapon than Devontae will ever be if they don't start utilizing him more. And if the quarterback can't start finding him, it's other ways to get the ball in his hands. I don't know how you don't see that. Don't be afraid of guys. Man, what is this with you guys? What guys get? This is football. You get hit in football. It's a contact sport. Jesus criminy, man. It's a contact sport. Check out D-Jack's punt return against the Giants. I've seen that thing, man. He's spectacular. I would say this, man. He's the best deep threat. Him and Tyreek Hill are the 2 greatest deep threats. I don't know. I even thought didn't Deshaun Jackson have one with the Raiders this year too? Didn't he have a plus 50-yard play? That guy, you get him the ball, man. That dude could still run. That would get him killed. Man. Deshaun also ran a 3.940. Hey, and by the way, Jeremiah. So watch this. Watch this here. If you're Devonta Smith, say I have 1,000 yards, 1,085. Say I'm a spectacular punt return guy or kickoff return. When I go to negotiate my contract, and you start looking for the amount of yards that I've become responsible for your offense as you're trying to move into the 21st century and throwing the ball to Philly, and I become more of a factor offensively for you, I mean, you get paid on that. That's Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel gets paid because he's Deebo Samuel, not because he's a wideout. He gets paid that money because he's Deebo Samuel. And I don't know why more. Hey, listen, Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams and some of these other guys, you're paying a guy $25 million to what? Get 14 targets and then go sit down and chew on ice? I want to try to utilize some of that dough. You don't like it? You don't have to play here. But I'm not going to put my best players and most expensive players in the crystal cabinet. Shit, there's a reason I'm paying you that money. I'm paying you that money because you're impactful players. There's a reason I use first-round draft choices. How many catches did Devonta Smith have this year? 68? How many did he have? 68 for a first rounder is shitty. Okay? And that ain't on him. That ain't on him. That's the quarterback and the offense and the coordinator and the coach. Not on him. Not blaming him at all. I saw him wide open all year. So did you. Again, not banging on Jalen here. Just saying, I'm talking about Devontae and utilizing that kid. Did you see him in open space in the SEC when he was at Alabama? You couldn't defend him. You couldn't defend him. What's the sense of having Devontae out there? It's the number 2 guy if your quarterback can't find him and get him the ball. You're underutilizing his athleticism and you're underutilizing the pick. Convey, dude, I'm not putting that dude out there. I'm putting Devonta Smith out there. I'd even ask him, hey, you want to do some special teams? You want to help our offense out? I could get him hurt. $68 catches. Did he have really only 68 catches last year? Jesus, criminy. First round draft choice, 68 catches. That ain't near good enough. And again, not on him. Not on him. Not on him at all. All right. Hit the like button. Let's roll over to this one here. I saw a great story in the Philadelphia Inquirer about Dallas Goedert. How many people believe that Dallas Goedert could be better than Zach Ertz? And this was probably the reason that Howie Roseman moved Zach Ertz to Arizona. How many people believe that he could have an opportunity to move himself into that? I mean, does Goedert have a chance to be Zach Ertz? Because Zach Ertz, in my opinion, in his heyday, Zach Ertz was in there with Kittle, Kelsey. Nobody's in the Gronk room, but there was a collection of those tight ends where you went like this. Yeah, Zach's in there. 100-catch guy. Yeah, he's in there. Pathetic on yards after the catch, though. Worst tight end I've ever seen. I never put Zach Ertz in that elite group because when Gronk catches the ball, and Gronk's running down the field, he's unguardable. Kelsey's almost unguardable. Jason Witten was almost unguardable once he got the ball in his hands. He was great after the catch. Zach Ertz was pathetic. I mean, every time the guy caught the ball, he fell down. Does Goedert have a chance of being better? See, Kevin, I'm with you. Okay? I think Ertz had way better hands. Way better hands. So I was reading the article, and they said that he has a chance to put himself into the conversation of being one of the elite guys. And I disagreed with the comment because, okay, so who's going to be and then that made me go to this. Okay, well, who's the focal point then going to be? Is it going to be the tight end? Is it going to be AJ? Or is it going to be Devontae? And don't tell me it's going to be all three, because you don't have a quarterback that is going to see all three. You are under some notion that there's going to be 2,000-yard wideouts and a 900 catch in yardage tight end. You're out of your minds. Somebody's going to benefit the most. And the rest of these other guys are going to have decent numbers. Now, look, if I put in, this is why when I told you, if I put Garoppolo in this offense, you may have 2,000-yard wideouts because he's a professional quarterback that knows how to throw the ball. You don't have the Eagles do not have a professional thrower of the football. They've got a professional quarterback. It's just different. I don't know if Lamar Jackson could make 2,000-yard wideouts in this offense. He's a professional quarterback too. Well, then again, he led the NFL in passing touchdowns. That could always be fired back at me. So he is more of a professional thrower of the football. $1,000 yards for Brown, 900 for Smitty, 800 for Goedert. Slasher, that sounds fair. That sounds fair. That sounds like you're really, yeah. That sounds fair. Dallas could be great, but ball needs to be accurate. Okay? Ball needs to be accurate. Xander says this. This dude, Jalen Hurts, better get ready to throw that rock this year. There are some targets. Absolutely. Holy shit. Hey, you want to know something? I'd take Matthew Stafford off that Rams team and I put him in Philadelphia. A.J. Brown has 1,400 yards. Devonta Smith has 12, and Goedert has 1,000. Yeah. Yeah. I put any of those professional quarterbacks in that huddle. But we have what we have now. I'm not going to sit here and fantasize on something here. But somebody's going to get the most targets. Who's that guy going to be? What player helps move the sticks the most? Goedert? Devontae? Or AJ? I think it's Goedert. The columnist in the Inquirer has a great topic, and that dude don't know it. Goedert is the focal point. Why? Block and release. Who was the number one wide receivers in Tom Brady's career in New England? Hernandez, Gronkowski, opened up the perimeter for Amendola, Welker, and the rest of them dudes. Okay? Edelman, Amendola, and Welker were all products because when you had that two tight end set and you had Gronk in the middle, singled up on linebackers, no linebacker was going to cover Gronkowski, man. And I told you this. The only guy that I have ever seen give Gronk trouble was Ryan Shazier. Ryan Shazier was the only guy I've ever seen cover him and cover him well because he was built. I'll tell you this, as big as Gronk is, but the way that Nakobe Dean plays, he's a little too small for that. But you got to be like Derek Brooks to play against a guy like Gronk. 6'2", 220. You can't be too big because you can't cover him going down the field because Gronk will outrun you. And he'll athletize you by just jumping up because he's 6'6". Gronk's got every mismatch that you could possibly have on a linebacker. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, and he's more athletic. That's why that mismatch opened up the slot and opened up the Y and Z for Brady every game. Was because of what Gronk was doing on the hash mark. To me, I think that's what the Eagle offense has to do too. There's got to be an approach. You just can't sit here and go, well, let me get the ball to AJ. Don't you think they know that? You've got to sit here and come up with a way and use one guy to get the rest of these. Here, watch this. You've got to figure out a way to get AJ and Devontae open. Who helps get that done? Okay? Who helps get that done? It's going to be a challenge, in my opinion. I'm going to throw the first topic that we started the show with, off of my friend Gary Cobb. And Gary Cobb joins us now. By the way, Gary, guys, I don't think you know this, but Gary Cobb was one of the greatest baseball players in the history of Stamford, Connecticut, and we have produced some of the greatest ball players at FCAC of all time. Gary hit a ball over right tech, and I'm telling you, everyone used to always tell me, Mickey Leone used to go, you didn't hit it as far as Cobb did. And I'm going like, wait a minute. Gary, did you ever think of playing pro baseball instead of playing pro football? Because you could have played pro baseball.
Well, I really grew up thinking I was going to play pro baseball. I did. Grew up.
Your legend for where we're from is baseball.
Well, I played more baseball than anything else, and we had a great baseball program. And, I still look back and things and say, I probably, I don't know. I probably walked away from my best sport. I walked away from it.
You did.
But because now, look, if you can get a hold of 30 balls, and I know because I did a home run hitting contest with Charles Barkley and those guys over at the vet years ago. And I would put them out of there. They were going like, Cobb, we didn't. But see, because the way it happened, when I got out there at USC, we had an agreement with John McKay. But he left. He left to go to Tampa Bay after my freshman year. And John Robinson said, hey, look, you're playing football, son. And football was king at USC, So I had to go out there for spring ball and everything. It kind of, it really,
Gary, Anthony Davis and all those guys told me that John Robinson used to let them play baseball.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Anthony Davis has a national championship baseball ring, and he also has a national championship football ring. He was on some of those great SC teams.
That's right.
Where they would battle with Arizona State and USC every year for the title.
That's right. That's right. But, I was a young buck when I came out there, and that's why, it got kind of old, but I really didn't play baseball like I really wanted to, and I probably could have put up more of a fight for it, but, I was just trying to, I had all these guys that were out there. If I wanted to play football, which I did want to play, but we had, man, at linebacker, we got Clay Matthews at linebacker. We got, David Lewis, Rod Martin, all these guys. Then, Ricky Ellison come in there, Chip Banks. We had some good linebackers. So it was competitive. I mean, it was great. But I really still think back that, I probably, should have stayed with it. But, it was tougher then.
But your legend with, like, I think Bobby Valentine even went to Southern Cal.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm like, everyone always goes, hey, I go, well, the guy did play 11 years in the NFL. It's not like he picked a shitty sport. He picked 11-year NFL career. He goes, and Mickey Leone used to always tell me this and go, yeah, but Cobb's a better ball player. He's a better baseball player, man. Ask anybody. This guy was all state and everything, man. Yeah. All right, I digress enough. Let me throw this at you here.
Yeah.
So Javon Hargrave is going into the final year of his contract. You've got a 1-year contract with Fletcher Cox. You just drafted a guy 13th overall with Jordan Davis. Who stays and who goes, and how do you think they handle all this? Do you think they let Hargrave walk out of the building? Do they offer him a contract? I believe it's the last year for Fletcher. They'll probably rotate Jordan because he's the heir apparent. How do you think this triangle works out here for the Eagles?
Well, I think what they've got is they're going to have hungry players. I mean, if you want to get in another year, you got to show something, and whoever shows is going to, they're going to show interest in, but whoever doesn't, I mean, if they see that, hey, look, Fletcher doesn't have anything left in the tank, they're going to go, well, we're surely not going to give him any money, so we're going to start talking to Hargrave. Now, Hargrave last year, he started off hot. He looked like he was going to just, he was going to be Pro Bowler, but he kind of faded, but he started off hot. I mean, he shows that he does know how to rush the passer and everything. He's going to get more chances probably because, the kid is going to really get attention because of the way he stops the run. He's going to have to learn from these guys. But, Fletcher still, if they single block Fletcher, now they're asking for trouble times. He finds out he's single block. He's going to go, look, I got a shot here. So I think he still has something left. But I think the double teams wore him down some. But he wants to, look out for those single blocks. He gets single blocked, man. I still think Fletcher, he can overpower people, So, guys, that's going to be interesting to see how that works out and see how quick the kid learns how to rush the pass or something. But Hargrave and Cox, they're going to want those third downs. They want those pass downs, man. They want to be on that field, get a chance, put pressure on the passer, get some sacks, get some stats. Because
that's right. There's incentives. Hey, Gary's saying stats, but there's incentives.
That's right. And you know what incentives means? Money.
Hey, what's Milton Williams' role going to be this year?
Now, you mentioned him. I think he's going to be a kind of guy they're going to look at. Now, he can earn snaps himself. See, he can go ahead and push those guys to where, you know how tiring it is rushing the passer, man, in the NFL. I mean, especially inside rushing the passer, man, that is work.
Can he play a 5 technique, Gary?
I think
or is he not built for that?
Well, they say that he's very flexible and he's capable of playing all these positions. They say he is. Now, I haven't seen all of it, but they say he is. So I'm interested, and I'll be watching to see if he can do all of that. But they're going to get plenty of chances. See, that's the thing is they have a situation where they have snaps. They're going to give snaps to people. Now, if they do this the smart way, guys that are doing something with their snaps get more. So a kid can come in there, and if he's doing something, eventually they start giving him snaps because they're gonna base next year who they're paying is based on who produces this year. So all these guys are in the same thing, and they all want to roll up for another year and keep that money flowing, but that's going to come down to production, and they're going to get chances. And see, when they get in the 5-man fronts, you're single blocked.
Yeah.
I mean, you there's nobody giving anybody up. And that's when those guys should be licking their chops, man. All I got to do is I beat this guy, or at least affect the play where you can push somebody back into the quarterback's face, knock the ball down, and affect the play. They obviously get points for that. I mean, when they're grading that tape, and I think they're going to grade that tape, and whoever produces ultimately is going to be the one that benefits from the contract negotiation.
Gary, the one Eagle in 2022, take Jalen out of the conversation that they cannot win games without. Who is the one Eagle this team cannot afford to lose, in your opinion, going into this season, not quarterback related?
I say, you're probably talking about the corners. I mean, I probably would say, start with Darius. I mean, they need him out there, They need their corners because with guys that can play man-to-man, they're going to say, hey, guys, go get them. We're sitting in the house. You guys cover your guys. And we're going to get this quarterback. So they're going to do that at times. They can do that at times because they got that experience out there. They keep those guys healthy. You know, they need those. I can see that they're planning on having those guys healthy. You got corners that can play man to man, and they like the kid in there at and in the slot too. So they got all those guys. I mean, you got Bradbury out on one side, Darius on another, and what's my man? What's the little guy's name? But anyway, you know, in there at the slot. But they have got good man-to-man coverage corners. So you can afford to blitz sometimes. They could just play man-to-man. But they got to tell their guys, look, we're going to give you a chance to get one-on-one, beat your man, and get to the quarterback. If you can beat your man, you're going to have a big year, and you're going to get paid.
Absolutely.
Year.
Absolutely.
You know, that's way to. So I could see where Gannon, last year, he was kind of afraid to do that. And rightfully so. He didn't know the guys as well, and then he really didn't have the confidence in the cornerback to be able to do that. But I think this year they're gonna go after him. In fact, I have.
You're thinking your boy Maddox.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Maddox. That's right. And but Maddox is good in that slot, man. He's a good man in that slot, and he'll even come up and tackle. I like that about him at the slot. But he's a good man-to-man coverage guy. So you got 3 corners that can cover man-to-man. You know, and you sometimes you're going to send the whole house. Other times, you know, you let those your defensive line get after people. You come out in that 5-man front. You jump in man-to-man. Hey, go get the quarterback. That's what we pay you guys to do. We'll get you. We got your man-to-man. Beat your man and get to the quarterback. I think guys like that, man. You wake up on Sunday, you know that's what you're doing, man. Guys be smiling, man. Yeah.
Oh, that means I'm eating there, man.
Hey, I'm going to eat. Like that's right.
Like everybody else out there like that. Gary.
That's right.
I saw an article, and I read an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer today, and they were talking about Dallas Goedert. Do you think Dallas Goedert has the chance to be one of those elite guys? And just a little bit of like the evaluation I see with him, sometimes he drops the ball.
Yeah.
He's better after the catch than what Zach was. Zach had better hands than what he has.
Yeah.
I don't know if I see Kelsey or Kittle, or I think Gronk was an outlier. Gronkowski and Kellen Winslow Sr. are the 2 greatest tight ends I've ever seen play the position because of the size, the ability to block, all the things that get separation. So those 2 guys are just different than everyone else. But do you think Goedert has a chance of being in that room where you say he's one of the elite tight ends?
Well, I'll say this: he's got the talent, but he's got to be more consistent. That's the thing he's got to do. Meaning, like, the easy ball. Don't drop the easy ball, dude. Follow that ball into your hands. Don't start running with the ball before you get it. Things like that, you know, because he can make the big play. I mean, he can make that. You know, he has that level of talent, but I don't know if mentally the focus. And then, you know, his knowledge of the game, I think that he's getting more and more, getting better and better. But he does have that elite talent. But the whole thing is he's got to be able to focus and be more consistent. Now, I was moved by something he said, really made me think. But because I saw him catching some passes, he didn't do a lot out there. But you could see that he's got, I mean, I've always been impressed by him, but he's getting better and better. And the thing is, he's going to be single covered all the time now. They're not doubling him. No, you know, they're coming out, they're going, look.
Gary, does that make him the number 1? See, funny, right before I brought you in, I think you're going right down this line here because of the tight end and the importance of the tight end position. Does he become the number 1 focal point in this offense to get AJ and Devontae open because of that position's importance now, especially to a young quarterback in Jalen? And if he's going to be going against linebackers, which it should be a mismatch. Does he become the number 1 focal point?
He could be. At times, he definitely could be. You know, because there's some games he definitely should be. Because you know he's going to get singled up on that backer. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be one-on-one on that backer. And Dallas, you know, he's a smart kid and he does know the game. because over there at the after the practice, talking about Jalen, he says, yeah, Jalen's getting rid of that ball quicker now. You know, he's getting that ball out of his hands quicker because he's seeing things faster. And so he said he's got to be ready sooner because Jalen's boom, he's making his read. He's got that ball coming out of there. And so the fact that he's got a feel for that and playing with Ertz all those years was good because Ertz was smart. I mean, Ertz has at the tight end position running routes, you know, like a quarterback running routes. That's the way my man out in LA is. He's like, you know, just got all that money. What am I talking about? I'm just coming in here running my mouth. But but you know, he runs routes like Ertz runs route like a quarterback.
Oh, like Cooper.
Like Cooper.
The Cooper Cup.
That's like Cooper Cup. See, because Cooper Cup, he talks to the quarterback, and Ertz is like that, which is he's seeing through the quarterback's eyes. You know, this is what I'm going to give you, and you know, give me the ball here, and I'll be open every time. You know, and he has a feel for the game, and so I can see that this has helped Dallas Goedert a lot in that he's had this communication with Zach Ertz all those years. He understands the passing game. So that's why he was saying that about Jalen Hurts. He's saying Jalen's getting rid of the ball split second sooner now. He's saying this. See, nobody even asked him. He volunteered it because this is the first time. Now, I was thinking about this with Hurts. Now, this is something that you can follow here. This is the first time in maybe in a lot of his career, maybe, you know, for the last 5 years of Hurts' career, that he's playing under the same coach, same offense for the second year in a row. This is the first time. So we're going to see if it's a factor. Now, the guys say that Hurts is getting rid of that ball sooner. He's reading things quicker. We'll see. We're going to see. That's going to be the interesting thing. You know, I'm listening to the guys, the players that tell us saying this because they don't let us stay out there. They didn't let us stay out there to really see them going at that 7-on-7. But that's the thing. They all say he's getting rid of the ball sooner because he's reading it faster. And so we'll see all that.
You know what, though, Gary? I got to tell you, Tim McManus from ESPN was saying that AJ and Hurts need to polish it a little bit more. And it's funny that you should say that about limiting practice to the media. And I'm going to throw this at you here. This week was supposed to be mandatory minicamp, and he blew it off, and there's not going to be mandatory minicamp. They cut camp short last week. Yeah, I know they're going to do it again. Hey, I'm predicting this. If you're not practicing game tempo and you're not getting quality reps, that 2-5 start, and you're trying to change the offense, I don't know, dude. I mean, Gary, you're not practicing and preparing yourself. Yeah, I get the whole safety thing, and I get you want to have the war of attrition. Yeah. So their philosophy is this, Gary. I'd rather go into the season less prepared, but healthier than less prepared. I always thought that was a double-edged sword there. And this is football, Gary. It's a contact sport. Yeah, dudes get hurt. How do you see this whole thing?
Well, you know, the thing about it is working on the passing game, though. You're not even hitting. I mean, these guys aren't hitting so much.
No.
They're running that. Come on. Running routes. They're out there running routes. Come on, man. If really off, even if the guys aren't practicing as a team, they're still somewhere running routes. Come on, man. What is the difference? I don't see the difference. Now, once you start putting on the pads and hitting people, now that's different. But they're not hitting anybody. I'm sitting over there. We used to smile when we didn't have no equipment on. Come on,
no
man.
doubt.
That's not. I don't see where that.
Hey, when me and you got to Thousand Oaks, man, Jimmy looked over at us and went, "It's like a country club."
Yeah, it's like come on. That's right. You got no pads on, and you're telling me you don't want these guys to go out there and work. I don't see. You know, he says he's listening to some of the people over there in the back. You know, the trainers and everything.
Who's that?
Hey. I wouldn't be letting them tell me what to do. I'll tell you that. I'll tell them, look, we're going to be precise. We're going to work on the timing of everything. We need reps. Come on, we need reps.
So, Gary, here's Nick Sirianni in the locker room. All right, guys, That was a good 15 minutes of practice. We're not going to be practicing for the next 3 days. And when we do practice again, we're going to practice for 15 minutes of hard work.
Yeah.
Make sure you get a nod of nutrition, and make sure you eat some watermelons. Make sure you get some oranges in you so we get like hydrated. And then guess what? After 15 minutes, we're out of practice. We won't be practicing again for another 3 weeks. What coach talks like that?
I don't see how they're doing this. I mean, they got in last year, because they got that running game going late and all that. But this year, they got to step it up, man. You want to start in there, man. Precision. That ball's on the money, man. The timing of everything. You only do that with reps, man. You need reps. And what you said about AJ and Jalen, when I was out there, saw them, they need reps, man. They were rusty. They're just starting to play against each other, playing with each other. And they weren't able really to hook up. Now, I did see Jalen go deep a couple times. He went up top, man. He showed he could throw that deep ball. And they got Darius a couple times, taking Darius.
Does he look different? Does he look different body-wise, too, and everything?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot to me from that standpoint. But I could see where, just what we're able to see that he is, he knows what he's doing. He knows what's going on. I was
hoping that you would say, yeah, he went from Jalen Hurts and he looks like Warren Moon.
Nah, I'm not.
I was hoping you were going to say he looks like Warren Moon.
Hey, I'll be honest. I'll tell you this. I always look. Practice is practice. Okay, that's all. That's a definition. That's always practice is practice. Meaning, like, till you go out and do stuff in the game, that was just practice.
Hey, one more time. Rent's due in September. Hey, Gary.
That's it, baby.
I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. And by the way, I hate to say it and do it to you, man. You would have been a 10-time All-Star baseball player. I think you passed the wrong sport, bro.
Hey,
I love you, man. Talk to you, Gary.
Hey, have a good one.
You got it, man. Yeah, Gary Cobb's legend, man. He's legend from my hometown. And get this, played at Southern Cal. Seriously. And they were telling me this when I was a young kid because Mickey Leone was my coach and he coached Gary. And he's like, oh, this guy, G. Cobb, he ended up playing at Southern Cal, played on a national championship. And I was like, really? And I started following Gary Cobb around. And I was like this. I go, if that guy can do it, I can do it, man. Gary Cobb was like, the good dude, honestly, was my idol when I was a kid growing up. This guy is legendary in the city I'm from. I think he may have even played in the Little League World Series and such. What a great baseball player he was. Football was his second sport. He played 11 years. That's a fact. It's a true story, too. We had two guys go to Southern Cal, Bobby Valentine and him. And, they were both going to play. They were both going to play baseball and football. Bobby Valentine was actually recruited to take over for OJ. That's a true story. They McKay wanted him to come, and Bobby Valentine had like 200 or 300 scholarship offers to come and play like running back at Tennessee and Ohio State. Valentine's one of the best athletes of all time, and Gary Cobb is right there as well. All right, my friends, Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free, means this. If you're looking for an attorney, there's only one place for you to look for an attorney for you and your family. That is Morgan & Morgan. If you are hurt or injured on the job, do me a favor. Call Morgan & Morgan. This call will be the best call you've ever made in your life because for the people, this is not a slogan. This is who they are. I've known John for over 25 years. And in the last 30 years, they've collected $13.5 billion in compensation for their clients. They go to a courtroom ready to do battle for you. There is no such thing as a small case. There's no fender benders at Morgan & Morgan with over 800 attorneys strong in offices in Philly, New York, Florida, across the country. No firm will battle more than Morgan & Morgan. Look, the call is free. 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The consultation is free. 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, tell them Big Sil sent you.
Many times when people are injured at a place of business, they don't realize they may have a case. The fact is, injuries should not happen. And most of the time when someone is injured, someone is at fault. Maybe the store manager installed a cheap, slippery floor, or there wasn't proper security. After an injury at a hotel, restaurant, store, or any place of business, it's so important to call us. Time matters, size matters. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
At Action News, we cherish every moment, and it's our profound responsibility to bring you closer to your world. Never miss a moment. Trust the people at Action News.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh. Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Big Sills. Gary Cobb was great. By the way, before I get into another one of my topics here, can I just ask a question here about, and I know, listen, it'll just be a couple seconds here with this new golf league, this Live Golf. Let me ask you this. So I was watching a little bit of it, and I saw Jim Nantz berate the players who took this bag of money that the Saudis offered them and went and played on this tour. And you know what he said? These players are so disloyal to the PGA that has been very good to them, that for them to do this, it's almost like a betrayal. And I was like this, those golfers owe the PGA nothing. They owe them nothing, okay? They owe them nothing. Jim Nantz makes $6 million a year as a broadcaster, calling the Final Four, calling golf, the Masters, all of those championships. Okay, the Super Bowl. And CBS Sports is built on golf and the PGA Tour. He's loyal to them. Those golfers made that tour. So when you say something like that, it comes from a place of sour grapes. I'm sorry. Some of you may not like this. You came to me and said, here's $200 million, like Phil Mickelson got. You think I'm going to go, no, that's okay. My moral integrity is going to have me pass on that. When we buy phones from China, the NBA does business. Hell, what's his name is just going to try to cut a deal with the Saudis to get more oil for America to try to get gas prices down. He's doing business with the Saudis. How come it doesn't apply to them? I thought about that. The president's getting on an airplane to go talk to the Saudis to get more oil. Why is it okay for him, but a golfer who's not a politician, and someone comes to him and goes like this, here's $200 million. They offered Tiger $1 billion. Tiger's like, no, because Tiger's already a billionaire, but he'll rethink that. $1 billion. Man, you got to be the GOAT for you to do something like, no, I'll pass. Really? Well, PGA must have went to him and begged him not to. And get this, that coach's pat on the back is not going to keep Tiger at the PGA Tour much longer. Not when you're offering somebody $1 billion. It's funny how people, they think they have this integrity about themselves until money is put up in front. And you're like, well, I can't do that because of my integrity. Really? Your integrity. You know, I always used to ask this question. If I was going to give you a pill, a steroid pill, and it would make you the greatest athlete on the planet, the greatest athlete, would you take it? It'll take 5 years off your life. Would you take it? What do you think the percentage of people would take that is? 95%? Okay, so instead of living until I'm 90, I die when I'm 85, 86. All right, great. You got it. Deal. But and I was able to make $250 million. Okay? Okay, hey. My point here is athletes should not be involved in politics. Why are they? Everyone has a right to make the money they want. And it's always great listening to other people tell people how to live their life. This is another prime example of it. They shouldn't do it. Well, who the F are you? It's okay. I got my life covered. You know, I mean, I love it when these moralistic people in our media come up with ways to tell athletes how to spend their money or how to make money and what not to do and what to do. Hey, man, you're your own captain of your own ship. How you lead that ship through troubled waters is your own path. Phil and Dustin Johnson and some of those guys, it's you know what? Roy Firestone goes, the former up close guy, goes like this. He said that, hey, man, you know, I can't root for them. And you're like, well, I'm sure they didn't ask you to. They're already billionaires. Oh, no, there's a cutoff point where I can make only so much before it bugs you. Jesus, criminy. You know, like I said, hey, answering questions about human rights stuff, you could ask the Olympic Committee that every single 4 years on where you put some of these games. The Olympic Games in China, really? Okay, great. And NBC put it on. All right. See what I'm saying? Don't hate the players. Hate the game. Those guys have every right to do that and make the kind of money they want. And no one said you had to be fans of theirs. Crazy. Take D-ball. Way to go. One above all. Great. I'm taking the D-ball. Right? Athletes are celebrities who use their platform to share their views. Now, Yale, when people start sharing views and political views, I haven't heard Phil talk about political views, so I've never heard Dustin Johnson say a word, actually. So I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when people start having political views and they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. Yeah, Birdman, the Olympic Games have become too politicized. That's why no one watches them. All right, we're going to reset. That was a good topic, too, by the way. We wrote it down. Tua or Jalen Hurts? Who do you think's got the most pressure? I want to re-hit on the fact that the Eagles are not going to be practicing a lot again. I think this is a deal. I think this is a storyline. They think they're doing it right because they had success with it last year. Okay. Fair enough. They believe that. They believe that with the success that they had. Okay? Yeah, I mean, Xander's right. Tyreek Hill is just taking a gas can, and he's just doing this, man. He's just throwing it. Hey, this guy's better than Holmes. He's more accurate. This guy's great. I love to be around. You're like, hey, give the kid a chance to get some reps with you here. All right. Hit the like button. Hour 3. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
A welcome home rally for Hassan Reddick. Big Sills, hour 3. Please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard. By the way, we are Looking forward to this week of guests here. Tomorrow we're going to have Hollis Thomas at 4:30. Ice Cube Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern Time. Thursday, we will also have Chris Sims, 4:30 Eastern Time. So we're looking forward to that. Resetting some of the topics that we had. Started out the show with, again, the player that I believe that this football team could least afford to lose for the upcoming 2022 season is Jordan Mailata. I did like Gary Cobb in the last hour saying that he thinks it's Darius Slay. Many of you also said Darius Slay. I don't think the Eagles are going to get out to a strong start this year. I just are not prepared. They're not practicing enough. Now, tell you what, I'll apologize at the end of the year if that's the case. They get out to a 5-2 start. I don't know what I'm talking about. And they totally do. They totally do. Okay? They got out to a 2-5 start last year. Let's see what happens this year. You canned mandatory OTAs this week. Not that OTAs are making me upset. I mean, it's helmets and shorts. I get it. Okay? It's helmets and shorts. All right? I get it. I'm going to get to Tua and also Jalen here in a minute. And also the number one target we talked about, I think it's going to be Dallas Goedert this year. I think without a doubt, I think he is going to be a major focal point because what JAKIB said, think about this. Who are you doubling? Who's going to be more open this year because of the addition of AJ? Now, here's something you got to think about. Why would I double AJ Brown? I've got to first determine why would, as a D coordinator, attacking Jay, how would you attack Jalen with the addition of AJ Brown? How would you attack Jalen Hurts this year? How would you attack him? We kind of talked about it a little bit in the first hour. Set the edges, don't let him roll around a lot, make him throw the ball. Why would I double AJ Brown, though? Why would I double Devontae? Why would I double Dallas? That quarterback first has to prove to me he can get the ball to him. So why would I put myself in a double situation? And I'm gonna be on offense when I'm the D coordinator. I'm gonna dictate the game to you first until you can prove to me you can take it out of my hands. Is that fair? Joseph says, Dan, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Think about this. Why would I cover AJ Brown with two guys right now? Why? Why would I put myself in that position? I'm the offensive coordinator on the defensive side here until you could show me you can win games throwing the ball. I'm not doubling these wideouts. Prove to me you can throw the ball to him. In-game situation. You haven't yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the edges. I'm probably going to play zone coverage on you. I might press the wide receivers so that you're not in rhythm. Okay? Press them. Don't play zone because that would help him. So I would play zone and press coverage on him to try to confuse them more. Move the safety and the free safety around more. Disguise those guys. Bring someone up the middle. Middle pressure always confuses new quarterbacks. If you contain Jalen, why would I double a wideout? You know what's funny? Everyone thinks because the addition of A.J. Brown that D coordinators are going to double him. Why? Because you can have Devontae Adams. You can have Tyreek Hill. But if you got a quarterback that can't get that ball to them on a consistent basis and keeping that team in third and short the majority of the time, it doesn't matter who you have out there. You could have the best wide, according to Pro Football Focus. Get this. This kind of goes into the topic. Pro Football Focus says that the Eagles have the 4th best wide receiving core in the league. Well, shit. You got the 4th best wide receiving core. You got the best O-line in football. And you're telling me, okay, that Jalen Hurts has all these assets and all these tools around him. Bro, you got a lot of pressure on your ass. As much as pressure is down in Tua with the Dolphins. All that said, Jalen hasn't shown me yet he can get the ball to these guys. And minicamp ain't going to be the place where we could start saying that. Oh, it looks good in minicamp. So what? So does the guy look good throwing a Nerf ball in a pool. Boy, that guy's got a great spiral. You see him throw that from pool end to pool end? I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. Double O says need to have the number 1 running attack. And a number 1 running attack? Hey, Double O, get this. That number 1 running attack means nothing. That number 1 running attack, Baltimore was 3rd and didn't make the playoffs. Okay? It's one-dimensional. JAKIB normally doesn't bullshit when he's talking about Hurts. He says the ball looks good. And on the long throws especially, solid sign. I agree. I agree, Xander. Sitting around in helmets and shorts, looks good. Wonderful. I'd rather hear, hey, I'm not goofing on you. Xander, wait a minute. No, I'm not goofing on you because you know what I'd rather hear? I'd rather hear that than this. Well, there's a guy he's struggling in Tennessee and needs an inhaler and he can't make it through camp and he's got problems. That is troubling. Or Jordan Davis showing up fat. Instead, he's in shape. Dude, those are good. That's good. And again, you know what I'm doing here? I'm giving you pats on the back for shit that should be a given. You should be getting better. You should be looking stronger. He should be this guy. Okay? This is all going to come down to rent due day. Okay? I'm going soft. Not going soft. Because personally, I think the kid's going to struggle this year. I do. I do think it's going to be good enough to win, though. Because the division and the conference suck. Do I think he throws for 4,200 yards? No. But we're going to see ebb and flows of his play this year. And you know why? I don't think they're preparing him right. I don't think it's on Jalen. How can you get decent reps and quality reps? I've had people from Gary Cobb to Phil Simms and everyone else say you need quality reps. Okay? Quality reps. Joseph, we need to be balanced. Correct. Hope for the best. Absolutely. But prepare for it. It is ludicrous to talk about his spiral and his hips and back. I don't think it's that awful. We will have balance this season. Plus, Jalen won't have to run as much. Nigel, that is the ultimate dream. I don't think Hurts is playing video games. I think he's working. Yeah, you know what I really loved what I saw? You know, I've been talking shit on this one player for a long time. I saw somebody take a video of Justin Fields at a weight room, and no one was in it. I think it was 12:30 at night. And he had just gone through practice earlier in the day. And I think it was like 12:30 or something. And he's in this gym by himself. And he's working on some core work in the gym on his stomach. He's doing some tricep pull downs. He's doing a full workout. No one's watching. Somebody was just with a camera phone. And he was in there working out. Champions are made when the lights are not on. No one's watching. It's raining. There's no reporters around. I was like this. That's a great sign. If I'm the Bears, I'm thrilled to death to see that video. He didn't know. Wasn't something contrived. It was just somebody taking a video of him working out and trying to get better because he knows he's got a lot of pressure on him in Chicago. That's the kind of shit that you really look at and you're like, as a coach, sometimes you don't see it on the field. He's struggling, but then you hear and you see stuff like that. You know your coaching and your time with the player is not going to waste because the kid wants to be good. Jalen Hurts is in that same category. Okay? That same category. When teams got a lead on us, guys like Brady and Mahomes, we can't beat them. That's right, Tank. You don't have comeback capabilities right now. It has not been proven yet. Now, could it? We'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, well, the addition of A.J. Brown is now going to make us so that if we get behind 14 points, this team can rally out of it. I don't believe that. I don't care if you had Jerry Rice out there. I don't believe you have the quarterback that could throw you out of problems right now. Here, the quarterbacks that could throw you out of problems. Mahomes, Josh Allen. I don't even think Kyler Murray can. Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Russell Wilson, Burrow, Justin Herbert. Cousins. Tannehill. Guy lost Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown for 9 games. Not all A.J. for those 9 games, but he lost Derrick Henry, and they won the AFC. Derek Carr. Derek Carr's another one. Yes. But you got guys who are one-dimensional ball players. Absolutely, Derek Carr can throw you out of problems. Did you say Herbert? Yeah, I did say Justin Herbert. Paul says all pro athletes get their work in. They don't last. You're right. The great ones work like that. You know what was, get this, I had a friend of mine. Listen to this story. So I had a friend of mine, God, who used to work over at Staples Center. And he was a guy that worked in like the arena and setting up the arena for like, you know, when the Kings would play or the Lakers would play or special events, concerts and such, right? And anytime that there was a big-time guy or a big-time shooter that would come into Staples, Kobe'd be out there when the other team would show up for practice, and he would just be bouncing the basketball, shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting, and he can hear him. And I forget the guy's name who it was that said that he couldn't believe that Kobe's just shooting and shooting. This was hours before the game. Kobe's going through a full workout. He's going through a full workout. So this guy used to watch this all the time. Kobe tried to intimidate you with his work ethic. Nobody was watching. Kobe shooting 500 shots. That he goes, the guy who ran Staples told me Kobe like would put a full workout in right before the game. A full workout, then workout after. He was at that thing. He says almost sometimes he'd sleep there. That's how much Kobe Bryant loved playing. The stories that I'm hearing now about Bryant, and how he handled himself. Okay. I love that, man. The Mamba, man, that dude's legit. He's legit, dog. He's totally watch this. If you had to pick between Kevin Durant or Kobe, I'm going Kobe. He's better than Jalen as a passer, Tannehill. Of course he is. Of course he is. Not a question. Justin Herbert is on his way to superstardom. I wouldn't say Dak is average as a passer. Dang, Kobe all day. Kobe all day. Okay, Joseph. Okay. Me too, Sileo. Sucks that Kobe's gone. All the things, dude, Kobe Bryant was getting into the best part of his life, and that was being a dad. He was entering, and being a businessman, he was entering the best part of his life. I always say this about Kobe. 5 NBA championships and an Academy Award. Not too bad. Jordan, 6 titles. I get it. But Kobe, man, 5 titles. 5 titles and an Academy Award. It's pretty good. Right? Shows your versatility. Grew up in the suburbs, was connected big time with Philly basketball scene. Plus his dad, Jelly Bean, played for the Sixers. Yep, he did. Now, Jock, you're right. A lot of Dak's yards are empty calorie stuff. Empty calorie. It'll always the same people clowning Dak. Hey, wannabe. Dak's a good player. Dak's a good player. I don't know $45 million, but Dak's good. Dak's a good football player. He's a good leader. He's the face of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think you can go wrong with it. But is he Justin Herbert, or is he Lamar Jackson, or is he Joe Burrow? Absolutely not. And he'll never be those guys. Dude, when you watch Dak Prescott throw a football and you watch Justin Herbert throw the football, you're telling me you can't see the glaring difference between the two? Or when you watch Burrow play the quarterback position and you watch Dak Prescott play it, it's completely a different approach. Joe Burrow's got Brady qualities about him. Dak, Tony Romo? I think Romo's more like Brett Favre. I think Dak's more like Aikman. I think Dak protects the football. I don't think he throws for a shitload of interceptions like Romo does. I'm not saying he is Aikman, but I think he approaches the game like Aikman. You know what's really hurt Dak's success? The reason why Dak is not having the success that he had 3 years ago even is because the Cowboy run game has evaporated. When he was playing well and you looked at him and you went, man, Dak Prescott could be an elite guy, the Dallas Cowboy offensive running attack has evaporated. Ezekiel Elliott is now maybe the third best back on that team. Tony Pollard's by far going to get more carries this year. By far going to get more carries. Tuyen, who would you compare Hurts to? Joe Burrow looks like Burt Jones. Burt Jones ran a lot, and the reason he left the game, Burt Jones ran too much, and he got annihilated running the ball. Joe Burrow does not run the ball. Burrow is more like a Bradshaw, not Burt Jones. Burt Jones was running quarterback, and one of the first, he won the MVP award, actually. He was an old LSU quarterback that played for the Colts. I'm talking style of play, Chris. That's a great question, though. So Slasher goes, Zeke had 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. So let me show you something, Slasher. Slasher thinks that's impressive. 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. You think that's not saying you're wrong? Okay. Because I'm going to show you something. What that stat gets you. 58 yards a game. You think that's elite? 58.8 yards a game gets you 1,000 yards in today's NFL. I don't know. Am I going to pay a running back $20 million to get me 60 yards a game? I don't think so. I don't think so. Hurts reminds me of Seneca Wallace. You better hope not. Burrow is more like Aaron Rodgers. No, man. Burrow doesn't run. Burrow is an elite drop. Burrow reminds me of Brady. Jalen Hurts, make a comparison to. Who would I compare Jalen Hurts' style? It ain't Vic. Vic was a better passer. It's not Dak. Dak's a better passer. See, what you got to do is you got to pick quarterbacks who don't have elite arms, but are elite athletes. That's who the guys you have to pick. Okay? Culpepper, dude, Culpepper could throw. Here, let me show you something about Dante Culpepper. Why that's not a good comparison. RG3? RG3? Dante Culpepper stats. Yeah, Dante Culpepper, man. 39 touchdowns, 4,700 yards, 3,900 yards, 33 touchdowns, 3,800 yards, 29 touchdowns, 380 completions. No way. I don't think so. It's not. That's not happening. Susan says Matt Castle. Low-hanging fruit. Cordell Stewart? Whoa, mole. Huh. Yeah. Cordell Stewart got to a Super Bowl, didn't he? Cordell Stewart and Jalen Hurts. Let's take a look at that. Cordell Stewart stats. I like that comparison. 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns. 3,109, 16 touchdowns. 48 and 34 in Pittsburgh as a starting quarterback. Threw for 14,000 yards. His season's 11-5, 13-3, 7-9, 7-4. Hurt often. Yeah. Steve McNair? I don't think so. Okay? Yo, I need to put this photo on screen of Fletcher Cox next to Jordan Davis. Do it. Do it. Damn. That's some size. And Fletcher's a big dude. Holy shit. Fletcher, look, Fletcher's 6'4". Fletcher's 6'4", at least 325. That dude on his right, and by the way, I think he looks great. Okay? I think he looks great on the right. Jordan Davis looks great. Okay? That's 6'6", 335, I'll say. 6'6", 335, 6'4", 325. Hey, man. Oh. Dude, you're going to run in between them two guys? I'll tell you what, your goal line defense looks awful good right now. Wow. That's some big fellas, man. Oh, my God. You could compare stats, and Hurts looks similar to McNabb. So, wait a minute. Midwest Eagle fan, when you watch Jalen Hurts throw the ball, you see Donovan McNabb. Yes or no? You see Donovan McNabb. How can you say you do? Come on, man. You're wishful thinking it. When you watch Jalen Hurts throw a football, you do not see Donovan McNabb. I never saw that. When I watched McNabb throw at Syracuse, when he was at Syracuse, he looked like a prototypical passer, pocket passer. When I saw Jalen in the college ranks, he never looked like one. And he still hasn't. Come on, man. When you watch McNabb throw the ball, you don't go, well, I'll tell you what, Jalen's right there. Give me a break. Marina says McNair's stats are similar to Hurts. So when you watch Steve McNair throw the ball, again, I use that. You see Jalen Hurts. Really? Really? Another coach is doing something that I don't like, and it's Doug Peterson. And I just got this text to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. I just got this from Doug Peterson. And wait till I tell you what it is. All right, don't forget, my friends at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. If you're hurt or injured on the job, this is the place for you to get you and your family the compensation that you so deserve. Last 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has collected over $13.5 billion in compensation settlements for their clients. For the people, always remember it, folks. This is who they are. This is what they've built. A firm that represents their clients to the max. No such thing as a fender bender. With over 800 attorneys strong in offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida and across the country, no firm will go to court for you that will do more. Morgan & Morgan is there for you. They're the biggest law firm in the country, and this is what they say all the time when they're in the courtroom. There's no such thing as a fender bender here when it comes to Morgan & Morgan. Call them 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call's free. The consultation's free. 800-512-1600. And when you call them, do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When you're hit from behind in a car crash, the insurance company may try to say, you can't possibly be hurt. It was only a few miles an hour. It's simply not true. You see, here's the thing. Getting hit at 10 miles per hour is like falling off of this. 15 miles per hour, like this. And only 25 miles per hour, this. Injured, dial pound law. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
At Action News, we cherish every moment, and it's our profound responsibility to bring you closer to your world. Never miss a moment. Trust the people at Action News.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh. Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Your boy Big Sills. Please hit the like button. Vince Young and Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Yeah. Vince Young. Before Jeff Fisher destroyed him, had a great record in Tennessee. I think he was 31-14. I think the guy won the Rookie of the Year award. If I'm not mistaken, I think Vince Young was the NFL Rookie of the Year when he was when he was at Tennessee. Yeah. I kind of see that, but I mostly played Madden with him. That's Xander. He was lethal in Madden. Hey, the early part of his career, I mean, look, let me show you what I'm talking about. Jeff Fisher, do you see Jeff Fisher? He's 1-8 now in the USFL. He's 1-8. Do you know that Jeff Fisher hasn't had a winning season as a head coach since 2008? How that guy got a gig is mind-numbing. He's horrible with quarterbacks. He ran into Steve McNair, which was lucky. How that guy coaches is incredible. He's sorry. He's won. I'm telling you, man, I don't see it. Jeff Fisher destroys quarterbacks. Didn't he fire Foles in St. Louis? Or was that Case Keenum? And I forget. It was he had two quarterbacks in the room, and he blew them both out, and he kept a stiff. He's terrible at quarterback evaluation. And I thought that, listen, not that Vince did himself any favors by how he handled himself in Tennessee, but Vince Young stats. Vince was pretty good in Tennessee. Like, check it out. He's 30-17 in 5 years in Tennessee. That's not horrible. I think he was the Rookie of the Year. In 2005, he was the NFL AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. In 06, he was the Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was the Sporting News Rookie of the Year in 6, and he made the All-Rookie team. He's got 2 Pro Bowls next to his name as well. $552 yards rushing, 400 yards rushing. 8-5, 9-6, 8-2, 4-4, 1-2 in Philly, for whatever that means. 25-46, 9 touchdowns. Didn't throw for a lot of touchdowns, though. Never threw for 3,000 yards. Different NFL then, no. Not to give him excuses, because the completion percentage sucked. 51.5%. 62-3, 61-1, 58-7, 57-9 is not a completion percentage that you want as your starting quarterback. Jalen's better than that. So theoretically, Jalen's a better version of Vince Young in the pros. So I would say this to you. Xander, this is probably fair then. He's got Vince Young style to him. Prolific runner. Good enough to win ball games as a passer. That's kind of what Vince Young was in the pros. Okay, that in college, he was a freak show. Vince Young, in my opinion, you could make the argument he was the greatest quarterback in college football history. That national championship game when he threw for over 250 yards or whatever it was and ran for over 250. I mean, it could have been even 400 yards passing or some shit and 250 yards running. He was sick in that game. And they beat that Southern Cal team with all those great Trojan stars on it. He was unbelievable as a college. I would say this to you. The greatest college quarterbacks I've ever seen, Vince Young, Tebow. Care what you say about Tebow. Okay? Tebow won a lot of ball games. Tim won a lot of games. And he willed that team across finish lines. He's a great college player. Charlie Ward was spectacular. Tommy Frazier was spectacular. Matt Leinart was awful good. But Vince Young, in my opinion, that season he put up, you can make the argument he should have won the Heisman that year. It's just absolutely spectacular. But Reggie Bush was off the charts great too. By the way, Reggie should have his Heisman given back to him. I think it's ridiculous how the NCAA acts so high and mighty. Kid took money, so you keep his trophy away from him. And yet you guys, I mean, it's a prime example of the NCAA doing battle in things that don't matter. They had no jurisdiction in the Penn State case, but you know what their big claim to fame is? They took Reggie Bush's. Honestly, here's the NCAA's 2 greatest claims to fame. You want to know? Giving SMU the death penalty unjustly and taking Reggie Bush's Heisman away. Other than that, they've done nothing but hurt the game. They've hurt the game. The National Communist Association of America has hurt the game. Reggie Bush was the college version of the Chicago Bears' Gale Sayers. He was like Gale Sayers in college. Vic was unreal in college too, but I never really thought Vic won enough at Virginia Tech. Then again, Vic never really won enough in the pros. You want to know something, Jock, about Elway at Stanford? I think John doesn't have a winning record at Stanford. Todd Blackledge was decent, won a national championship. That's why he got drafted ahead of Dan Marino in that 83 draft. Yeah. Reggie Bush was an overrated football player. NFL player. College player, no. Okay? Nate, he was great. One of the best backs I've ever seen in college football history. He was just unbelievable, man. He was Gale Sayers of today. And he was like the Kansas Comet. He just was insane. Gary Collins was decent at Penn State. Dan Marino, his last year, had more interceptions than he did touchdown passes. Jock, so, Marino's senior year wasn't very good. That's why he went 28th. Yeah, Sydney. Elway's maybe the greatest physical specimen. Him and Andrew Luck. I think this kid, Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to get to Doug Peterson in a moment. Jim Kelly, another one of the guys that evaluated highly when he came out of college. Jim went from Miami to the USFL and played for the Houston Gamblers first. Herschel Walker, running back, is the greatest running back in college football history. Joe Burrow at LSU, the greatest season in the history of college football throwing the ball is definitely Joe Burrow. Look at who he was. Hey, was Justin Jefferson, was he on that national? Xander, was Justin Jefferson on that national championship team that Burrow threw the ball to? Was he on that team? Was Jefferson on the other side? Holy shit. So Justin Jefferson was on the other, was like Jarvis Landry on the other side of that? I mean, that's it. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson were the wideouts for Joe Burrow. Chris, yeah, it's Jamar Chase. Wow. Guess who recruited all them guys? Guess who recruited them? Coach Ogeron. It was Coach O that brought all them dudes into LSU. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, that's all Coach O. Hey, Joe Burrow, that's all Coach O. The kid who just got drafted, the defensive back out of LSU, that's again, Coach O. That guy can recruit, dude. He can recruit. Dude, LSU, look at the ridiculous wide receivers that they have. Hey, am I right when I say there's the one No. That's the kid who just got drafted from Alabama. He was at Ohio State. He transferred to Alabama. That's right. The four best places to play wide receiver in college football today are Alabama, LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State. You can never go wrong with those places. Dude, even the second and third team guys are great. Holy cow, man. Nate, cauliflower. Never see cauliflower on Big Sills' plate. The only time you're going to see, hey, seriously, in my house, we do have cauliflower, but it's for a hamster. Hey, it's for a hamster. My wife feeds it every day. She gives it great. The hamster gets fed better than me. The hamster gets grapes, cauliflower, a strawberry, and the rest like worms and shit. Yeah. He gets like a gourmet dish. This little guy gets a gourmet dish. Yeah, he's getting a little too fat, though, to get through the tunnels. So, like, he's kind of, like, quarantined off in one spot. Yeah. Cauliflower for the... Oh, that's right. Moss's kid played tight end. Hey, I'll be your hamster. Easy guy. No. Don't ever talk to another man and say you want to be his hamster. Guy, I don't know. Wow. That's a creep factor of 10 right there. hey, why do I need a shower? That's like a creep factor of 10. Wow. Okay, let me get back on topic over here. Whoa. I've got a bloody nose. Wow. Not like that. No, I didn't go anywhere. I just felt that way. I look like Dan. Well, then you're a handsome man. Then you're a handsome. Yeah, Xander goes like this. We don't need another break. Sorry, dude. I need another break because I wanted to throw up, but now I can't. So I got to throw up in my mouth. Thank you. Sills, who was the greatest heavyweight of all time, Tyson or Ali? Come on, man. Come on. Who sold more tickets? Probably Ali still. That was SDSL. Yeah. Come on, man. Ali's the greatest American athlete of all time. Are you crazy? Dan, you look great in that shirt. Dog, John, what's going on here today? Stop it. We're going to start barring people. Hey, you want to get blocked? Keep it up. Tyson, because he fought heavyweight undersized. Yeah. Well, so did Marciano. Marciano was undersized. 6 foot, 192. That's undersized. Yeah, everyone assumes that Marciano was a giant guy. 6 foot, 192. Rocky was undersized as a heavyweight. Okay, I mean, and he went undefeated, 49-0. Got Stills blushing? I don't think it's blushing, dude. Another dude doesn't make – dude, men don't make other men blush. Okay? They make other men throw up. You look good in that shirt, Sills. Yeah. Yeah. Undersized Italians, not enough pasta. Thank you, Sydney. He beat Joe Lewis's ass. Yeah, it was Susan. He beat Joe Lewis when he was 100 years old. Lewis came out of retirement at 38 so that he could pay federal income taxes. He had been retired for a couple of years, but he needed the money, and so he fought Marciano. I wouldn't consider that in Joe Lewis's prime. Joe Lewis in his prime was as great a heavyweight as any fighter of all time in that division. The greats, obviously Ali, Foreman. Hey, very underrated heavyweight is Frazier. Joe Frazier was spectacular. Marciano, because he was undefeated. Johnson, obviously, because of all the racial stuff that he had to endure. After he won the heavyweight championship, back in the day, they would not have another black fighter because they didn't want to have another black fighter as heavyweight champion after Johnson won the title back in the day. George Foreman's one of my favorites. He's been on our show actually here. I should probably get my friend Roy Jones Jr. on. Roy and I are dear friends, and he just got elected into the Boxing Hall of Fame. By the way, don't forget tomorrow, Hollis Thomas will be with us. He's going to join us at 4:30 tomorrow. And then Ice Cube is on Wednesday at 3:30, and Chris Sims is 4:30 on Thursday. Leon Spink's not a great heavyweight. Not a great heavyweight. Had a gold chain. Lennox Lewis is the guy I was thinking about, Randall. Very underrated. Great heavyweight champion. Great heavyweight. He and I are friends too. I'm friends with all these fighters. I was friends with Don King forever. His kid went to the University of Miami. My wife, when we first got to Vegas, she couldn't believe it. So get this. I got a couple ticket stubs from a couple Tyson fights. $1,000 tickets. And Don King used to give them to me. So I used to take my wife and you guys remember a boxer named Virgil Hill? Virgil Hill is a very close friend of mine. He's a former light heavyweight champion of the world. And so Virgil Hill's fighting. We just moved to Vegas. And at the podium, my wife didn't know who I really knew at the time. And so I walk up to the podium. Virgil Hill jumps off the podium. Sills, holy cow, my God almighty. My wife's sitting here, which is my girlfriend then. She's like, you know Virgil Hill? I go, yeah, I know Virgil Hill. Virgil Hill's one of my best friends. What a great light heavy he was, man. Oh, yeah. Tex Cobb was just a gimmick guy. Joseph, that's awesome. You're a Hurricane fan. Great things this year. Sileo, can you please get Lennox Lewis on the show? Really? Lennox Lewis? Okay. He and I talk on Twitter a lot. And by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do over at Dan Sileo Show. Hey, I got to say this about Doug Peterson. I just got word here. Doug Peterson is canning mandatory mini camps this week. Am I being old man Dan? Am I being old man Dan by saying that they need to have practice? There's not a guy, though, that doesn't come on my Twitter page, or there's not a guy that doesn't think that some of these guys need the reps. I mean, I would think that the Jags need reps with all those young players who were not coached well last year. I guess so, Yale. It's the new age. So then what you're thinking then, right? You're thinking mostly this then. Well, I'd rather be healthier than over-practice my guys. Okay, and if they get hurt, they get hurt in the season, and I'd rather have them getting hurt during the regular year than in the exhibition season. So that's your fundamental thinking. How do you make a team? How do you battle out for the right guard position in Philly? Are you just going to give it to Sayamala and say, oh, it's his? Does Dillard get a true chance to compete for that job when you're not practicing? How do you have a competition battle when you're not practicing? And you're not going to see a lot of practice time. John wants to give me an English lesson. John. I couldn't. Greg says, so you're not being old. You're on spot on the practice issue. Greg, I can promise you, man, New England's going to practice their backside off. Seattle, Green Bay, the Buccaneers. You think Tom Brady's not – well, how about this? Do you actually think – okay, do you actually think that Tom Brady's not going to play in the exhibition season? When have you ever not seen Tom Brady take reps? I saw Aaron Rodgers last year taking reps, but Doug's now backing off too. More people are putting more emphasis on these organized team practices with other teams. I mean, I guess that this is just going to be the new way to roll here on how you prepare your team. This load management thing is dumb to me. Dank, doesn't it Dank, that's a really great call. That's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit, right? The NBA guys don't want to play the full 80-game schedule, so they're calling it load management. I mean, I don't think players are going to be taking games off, but management now is taking practices off, and they're dummying down these training camps. And look, I'm not wigging out on the OTAs. Like I said earlier in the show, guys missing OTAs, helmets, and short shit. I get that stuff. Okay? See, I think the young guys too, Dank. I do. I think the young guys need more reps. Greasy, Alzado's a great player. Should be considered for the Hall of Fame, but because of steroid stuff, he's a 100-sack guy. Alzado was a great football player, defensive player of the year also. Alzado should be considered for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he won't be because he's labeled that guy. He's kind of the face of juice when it comes to football players. Guys, tomorrow, Hollis Thomas will be on with us, and we will talk some Eagle football. We're so looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us here today. We really appreciate it. Getting closer and closer to training camp. Please hit the like button. We'll catch you tomorrow, 3 to 6 Eastern time. See you on the flip side.